Hello guys, and this season is very hot for the Russian invaders because Ukrainian drones keep burning very explosive targets. Tonight we have destroyed five Russian military aircraft during just one night. They were hiding on a military airbase in Saki, and that is the temporarily occupied Crimea, but the Ukrainian drones have found them and successfully demilitarized. This is not just super expensive for the already collapsing Russian war economy, but this is also very effective, a part of the strategy to defeat and demilitarize Russia and thus save a lot of innocent lives. I do remember the times when Crimea was the favorite resort in Ukraine and Sochi, located not that far away, was the favorite resort of the Russians. Putin had his residence there, but now both Crimea and Sochi are a war zone, and all because Putin believed that blitzkrieg was possible and his population cheered for the war. Now they have this war also on the Russian territory and don't seem to be that happy. We need to return Crimea back to Ukraine not just because it's just, but also because it must be safe, it must be a resort, it should not be a military base of the collapsing, agonizing Russian Empire. So let's discuss what happened tonight in Saki. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the defeat and demilitarization of Russia that has already started, subscribe, we discuss all of that on the channel. And please share these videos. This is the easiest but extremely effective way to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine and me personally, and that means a lot. So let's start with this Saki military airbase. Just a war ago, it was an ordinary civilian airfield that could host charters and traditional planes of people who wanted to have some time and rest on the beautiful peninsula. But right now, everything in Crimea is a military base, military airfield, arsenal, and so on. They have totally changed the nature, they have totally changed the infrastructure, and it's pretty tragic. So on that military airbase in Saki, they have a lot of fighter jets, bombers, and our task is to keep destroying them because it's pretty obvious, otherwise they will use them to bomb us this night or the next night. According to this open data now confirmed officially, Ukrainian drones destroyed 5 Russian aircraft, 2 Su-30 and 3 Su-24. Approximately one Russian Su-30 may cost between $30 million and $35 million, not rubles. That is a huge amount of money, but if we think about the total sum that the Kremlin has already spent on their failed blitzkrieg, oh my god, that is insane. This is a poor country with a really low GDP that can be compared to the countries way smaller than the Russian Federation, actually the largest on the planet, the one that definitely does not need any new territories but needs a lot of money to repair the roads, to make toilets to the people, but they've chosen to invest in missiles instead of infrastructure, streets, schools, hospitals, but the Russians somehow accept all of that. It is estimated that every day of war costs the Kremlin approximately $900 million. Just imagine, they've spent more than $1 trillion already. They have nothing left. They are taking money out of the pockets of their people. Soon they will freeze deposits and they are prepared to fix the prices, just as during the worst times of the USSR. Oh my god. And in that context, we keep destroying the strategic objects, be it aircraft, and I'm sure many of you remember perhaps so far the most successful spiderweb operation when during one day we wiped out 1/3 of Russian strategic aviation, more than 40 aircraft, strategic cruise missile carriers. And now -5, which I consider is also very good, taking into account that it didn't take much effort and it didn't take much money. Ukrainian drones are incomparably cheaper than the aircraft they destroy. And this is what modern asymmetrical warfare is. So sometimes when I see countries next to Ukraine are buying some very expensive, very heavy, very big, huge weapons or vehicles, I understand it's good to have them, but they are preparing for the Second World War. And people in comments may keep correcting me, you meant the Third World War. No, I mean, they want to prepare to the third one, but buy the things they would have needed for the second. The Third World War, which from my subjective Ukrainian perspective has already started, is about drones, is about jammers, is about artificial intelligence, and perhaps robots in some time really soon. Let me know in the comments below, how do you see this modern warfare? And for you personally, what was the greatest innovation during the Russian-Ukrainian war? And subscribe to demonstrate your solidarity and to get all the updates. So this attack resulted in the destruction of 5 Russian Sus and making the territory safer and also protecting innocent human lives, because you know that's the new Russian tradition, to target us every night during this combined attacks when we have Russian drones, hundreds of Russian Iranian drones and missiles. It's really difficult to intercept them, especially when our allies keep promising Patriot systems, but then also ask us to wait. And we are patient, but unfortunately Russians are impatient in targeting our cities. So they have chosen this strategy of terror that will definitely fail, because after each of such attacks, Ukrainians don't want to surrender. Ukrainians want to destroy the Kremlin. That's how it works. We become more determined. We donate more money on drones, you know. And I'm very grateful when we achieve things like that. And here I connect the video about the 42nd NAFO convoy, and part of these beautiful trucks and drones are the ones that we collected in our channel community, and I'm very grateful that you made it possible. And actually maybe a couple of military targets deep inside the Russian Federation were demilitarized because of you. I'm confident of that, and I'm super, super proud. And you see that this drone warfare changes a lot. For example, Crimea was a beautiful resort. Now it's a military airfield, military arsenal of the Russian army. But trust me, we will wipe them out just as we did to the Russian Black Sea Navy. The same will happen with their aviation on the peninsula. But Sochi was the most popular resort inside the Russian Federation. One of the busiest airports was there, but it's no more operating because Russia is a war zone, because Russia is a no-fly zone. Please tell it to those who still believe in the invincibility of Russia. Look what happened to them during this 3.5 years of war. Lots of Russian regions under attacks of Ukrainian drones. They are lucky. We target legitimate facilities, arsenals, but still, they have air raid alerts, they see explosions, smoke, they realize that Putin cannot protect strategic objects like oil refineries, like drone building factories. People constantly quarrel, people constantly film that, people constantly ask questions. What is wrong with the Russian air defense? Well, we keep destroying it, but they also lack it. And they were not prepared to defend themselves. They didn't think it would happen. And there are lots of things that have already collapsed inside Russia. For example, the air aviation, civilian aviation, tourism is impossible, even among Russian regions. And I do not advise you to travel to Russia from like a million of reasons for that, but also the quality of their aircraft, the dangers that military actions impose on flights, and the inability of Russians to accept the new reality. Because if they were adequate, if they were realists, they would have stopped flights all over the European part of Russia. All because they wanted war, and now they've got this war back home to where it belongs. And I'm happy that more and more people realize that the only way to end this war, to bring peace, is to defeat it, to defeat Russia. Tell me, what do you think about this new comments of Trump, where he claims that India must get more tariffs because India fuels Russian war machine? And I had a lot of people commenting that this is the first time ever Trump used the phrase Russian war machine. Is it his efforts to distract your attention from some files, for example, or has something changed in his mind? Let me know in the comments below too. And remember to subscribe to my Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, X, and Discord community. The links in the description of this video, same as the link to our merch shop. And I'm always grateful when you choose products and literally act as our ambassadors, because these t-shirts, sweatshirts, and caps work well as reminders, conversation starters about Ukraine, and you know we need that. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channels. Remember to subscribe to Anna Danilchuk too. Once again, the link in that description. But most importantly, thank you for being friends of mine and friends of Ukraine. United we stand. Slava Ukraini!